live in Homestead and welcome to Fabric Friday. I've had to come home early from the rally. Lurch brought me back this morning, which was Saturday morning, because the weather's turned very cold and it's outdoors apart from wearing a trailer tent, and the cold is really getting to my joints. So he's brought me back. I've spent a few hours just wrapped up in a quilt trying to get warm again and help my joints. I have warmed up a bit, and so I'm going to just carry on doing this, sewing these pieces together into the long one. Here's the footage now of me doing the strip tube. Making the strip tube. Once I decided what fabric I was going to use and in what layout, I laid down on my table, sewed up 2 tubes, but I wanted to keep it in order. Although I have got the salvage bits that I can see exactly what order it was in, I thought, well, I might as well pin them to here. This is my smaller pressing mat, and it's kept them all in order. So now it's just a matter of pulling 2 off, sewing them together, and I'll show you that now. Now I've already sewn some of the strips, but I thought I'd do the orange and black one on camera because it should pick it up, because the difference is so vast. But you just get them, if you've got a right and a wrong side, which there doesn't tend to be on the on some of these, but you make sure you put the right sides together. I'll put the black on the top because I've got actually grey thread going through, so you'll see it's better. Right, so you put your right sides together. As I'm chain piecing, I'm just going from one to the next one. Let's move the mat away. And don't pull, don't stretch, just lay them on top of one another, making sure you've got your 1/4 inch seam allowance. Not pulling, not stretching, not tugging. Because this black is wider, width of fabric is wider, and I use it for backing at times, obviously it's longer than the strip of orange. Just lay it on. So, the next 2. These do have a right and wrong side. So you put the right sides together. 1/4 inch seam allowance. I've got a 1/4 inch foot on here, so I just line my fabric up with the edge of the presser foot. And it's as simple as that, and just keep going through them until you've sewn them into groups of 2. Sewn all the strips together into 2s, and then the groups of 2 went to 4, 8, and then pressed all the seams in one direction and did the last seam of sewing it into a tube. So now we'll lay it all out. I was worried about my seams being alternate so the nest, but I didn't really need to do that. I found out I didn't really need to do that. Not the way that I put the material fabric out. Right, so now you end up with an end all different sizes and that, so we want to clean that up, get rid of salvage edges, any bit of salvage on it. Let's take it to there. Now because it's fairly thick, because with the seams, and I folded it, in fact I might try folding it a different way. Because the seams are on top of one another here, so if I stagger the seams it might be a bit better. We'll see how that works. That's what it is, it's trial and error. That does seem a bit flatter now, so we'll try that. As I was saying, we'll tidy up the edge there, and there. We'll tidy it up, give me a nice straight edge, put a weight on my ruler. See, with the seams it can be a bit difficult at times to cut, especially when you've got a wonky hand like me. And where are my scissors, just in case it hasn't done. Oh, my scissors there. Because it hasn't quite gone through. I did have a new blade when I started this project, but I think it's sort of gone less sharp. So now the last one from the other side is here. I put a pin in it at the top to denote which way I need to add to it. So it doesn't matter at the moment, I'm just looking at the sizes. So I was down to the smallest size, which is 1 inch. So I want a 1.5 inch. So let's get a 1.5 inch. But you can do any sizes you want. You're not governed by it.
some of these hasn't quite gone through, but it's just little teeny bits. So that's a 1.5 inch. I think after that I'll have a couple of 2 inches. Now I'll do another 1.5. Oops, didn't do that. I know it hasn't done this bottom bit. It's another 1.5. And just keep getting what sizes you want. So these are what I've cut out at the moment, and because I'm joining them up, I want to find, well, let's go from the top one, which is the tiger stripe, and I'm going down. Now if you look at the one before and find out which way your seam is going, the seam on this sewn one is going down, so I want the tiger stripe to be at the top with the seams going up. So there's the tiger stripe, the seams are more or less going up. I would need it there, but let's turn it there. There's the tiger stripe, the seams are going up, and it needs to be one down from the tiger stripe. So I mean, obviously you won't have a tiger stripe, you probably will have different colours, but just get your seam ripper and basically undo your seam. One thing I didn't say when I was sewing these strips together is use a smaller stitch length, because you don't want your seams to start coming apart from when you want to take them apart. And there will be your next one. So we do that again. Now we want the seams going down, and there they are going down, and that will be my next one. So I need to take it apart there. You can just pull these seams apart and that will break your thread that's in them, but I think that puts stress on the actual fabric, so I prefer to do them with the seam ripper. And there we are, the next, and I'll get them out and lay them down. But what I will be doing, because I won't be sewing to this until I've sewn a few together, I will get two strips, put them together. Like I said before, I'm not going to pin all these seams, but you can do. I just don't really line it up. These clips are just to tell me I need to sew these two together. So I'll go through and then I'll bring it to the sewing machine. Now, as I told you, I use these clips to keep them together and I know which side to sew. So just take that one out and just wiggle it around so that the seams are nesting really nice. Hold that up, put the clip or a pin in there, but I don't bother doing any of that. To me, it's just a time wasting exercise to pin something in and then take the pin out a couple of seconds later. So you just put it under, 'cause as you know, lead the strips. So, and then just check as you go. I use my seam ripper as a stylus. You can hold it right to the end. So it is like me penning them, because I'm penning them in place there. Don't need this other one now. There it is. Just do a couple more. So let me just take that off the end. I don't know if you can see it well, but there's the join. Spot on. And the next one, hair off, but no, that's not a problem. And that one's spot on. So I'm carrying on with this method. So I'll carry on and do these, and same as with the tube, I'll put two together and then I'll get two lots of two, put them together and build it up as I go. And then next week I'll show you how I'm thinking and how I've changed it up a notch. Thank you. Bye.